Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another review video, and it's going to be on the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation Stick and its accompanying brush. Obviously you have to purchase them separately, but I obviously got them together. If you want to know how I felt about this foundation stick and how I felt about this brush, keep watching. Okay, first off, I've had this for a little over 2 weeks. And I've been wearing this pretty much every day except when I got the other foundation I recently reviewed, the Matchco Perfect Skin Match foundation. I'll link the review below. And the reason why I got this is because when I was looking at swatches online and when I went into the store, it looked like a perfect match for my skin. So I ended up getting it in Blanc, which is the lightest color. And generally it's a perfect skin match, which is fantastic. I also ended up picking up the brush that went with it because I don't have a really good foundation brush. Actually, I don't have any foundation brush. I have Artiste style brushes, I have Artiste brush, I have beauty blenders, you know, sponges, a lot of things, fingers. I didn't have a really good foundation brush. I had everything else. I mean, the Artiste brushes, yes, they're fantastic, you know, foundation brushes. But I wanted kind of something I could throw in my bag, you know. So I figured, like, for travel, because this looked travel friendly, and so I decided to pick this up. And so yeah, so I got both these things, and I wanted to let you know what I thought, the pros and cons, if I think they're worth the price because they're very expensive. And generally, if I think overall this is a good foundation to purchase. So let's go into the cons. I want to start with the cons because then I'll be able to explain some of the pros. First con is price. Oh my gosh, it is expensive. Now, if you think about the price of this compared to other foundations that you purchase at Sephora, it's the same cost, except you get about half the amount of foundation. So do keep in mind that you are paying for less product, even if it's the same cost as maybe Makeup Forever or NARS or Too Faced. You know, it's almost double if you consider the fact that you get less product. Secondly, the con, although I do love the packaging, it is really cool, it feels really nice, it is such a pain to close without looking at it. I've gone like this so many times. I probably made the worst face. I didn't even look. Like, you know, so it is kind of like not idiot proof, and I am definitely not idiot proof. So that can be a little bit of annoyance. Going into wear and things like that as more of the cons. It isn't natural looking, and it looks like you're wearing makeup. Now, there are some foundations out there that are medium to heavy coverage that just look seamless and airbrushed and perfect. This looks like you're wearing makeup. This looks like you're wearing foundation. It can get very cakey depending on how you apply it. And it did not aggravate, but like bring out more oil on my forehead and my nose than other foundations do, and I was surprised. So it does, you know, it's not flawless looking. We'll just throw that out there. It's not seamless looking. It doesn't vanish into the skin and make you look airbrushed. So those are my cons with it. And because it's expensive and because of all those things, when I first wore it the first few days, because I've been wearing it for about 2 weeks now, I hated it. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see if I like it. I'm gonna wear it. I bought it. You know, I spent all this money on it, blah, blah, blah. And then I had an incident happen that made me love it. That incident, as every woman knows, is when that special time in the month, a woman is reminded that everything around her sucks because her body is actively trying to kill her. And part of that, for some women, not all, is something called a hormonal breakout. And it's when your hormones go crazy and your skin just erupts. I have not had a bad hormonal breakout in over a year. I am an adult woman. I'm in my 30s. I should not have the skin of a teenager. And I haven't because I've been taking really good care of it. But during hormonal breakouts, I look like I'm in high school again. And this particular one was so bad, especially right here. This was horrible. Like, I've just got like 1 or 2 left. Like, I'm really, like, have like hand sanitizer down here. So if You see me go like this. It's probably because I'm sanitizing my hands. And it was just so bad. And I wore this and I noticed that it was hidden completely. Normally, if I have a really bad breakout or if I have a really bad like blemish or just skin irritation that's really red, I have to cover it with a lot of concealer and then I have to bake it so it stays on all day because just it never stays. This little guy right here, firstly, even though it didn't look natural, it covered, I didn't have to use any concealer except on one problem area, and it stayed all day, even when I was itching my nose, even when I was kind of like itching down here, because I always itch my chin, even when there's nothing wrong. I think I just grew up seeing like the villains go like this, and I just kind of developed a habit of doing that, and it's just something that I do. It's a little nervous tick I have. I just like scratch my chin, and normally the foundation, normally the foundation will wear off on my chin, and this actually didn't. It stayed on all day. And so I was kind of like, you know, like you might not look natural, you might look a little bit cakey, but you actually stay on all day, and I don't need to reapply you. So that was phenomenal. That was like the first pro of this foundation. The second pro of this foundation is the fact that it matched my skin beautifully. So even though it looked a little cakey and it looked like I was wearing makeup, it at least looked like I knew how to match my foundation. Because there have been other foundations that look very flawless and effortless that the skin color was off, and I have to counteract that with bronzer or like lighter powders, and so it looks flawless, but I was wearing way more makeup than I wanted to. This at least looks like my natural skin color, so from a distance it doesn't really look like I'm wearing anything, and when you get close it does, but overall the effect of it, I don't have to wear as much makeup to make it look natural. So that was a huge plus for me, and that plus is specifically because of my skin tone and is because of my experiences with it. If you can't find your skin tone or having that experience doesn't matter to you, that pro's not going to matter. So don't view that pro as a pro or con to buying this foundation. I'm just letting you know my experiences with it. Another pro is how easy it was to apply and blend it. Now, that can be said for a lot of foundations, but I have a problem with cream and stick foundations. They never seem to sit on my skin nicely. They always seem to emphasize my pores, emphasize my fine lines and wrinkles, not look nice. And again, because this only looked a little bit cakey, and that's because I think of my foundation routine. I think if I used a different primer or a different powder, it might not be so bad. It was really easy to apply, and it's incredibly comfortable to wear. I don't feel like I'm wearing any makeup, even though I'm wearing pretty much the same amount of makeup I wear every day. So that is another thing I want to say, is that it is incredibly comfortable. So real quick, let's just go through the pros and cons again. Cons are it's expensive, it looks cakey and unnatural, and it kind of made me a little bit oily. Pros are it's a perfect match for my skin, it's really blendable and is comfortable to wear and has great coverage and is long lasting. Now that's for this guy. I'm going to give this foundation a B. Because the pros and cons kind of cancel each other out in some ways, like long lasting but looks cakey, you know, like I don't want to say this is an A+ product and have somebody watch this review, although I don't think someone would, and go out and buy it and hate it. So I'm going to say that this is a middle of the road foundation. I'm going to say if you have other foundations that you don't need this. I bought this specifically because it matched my skin tone so beautifully. And because of that, and because I actually like the coverage and the way it wears, I will probably rebuy this. Now, I will probably only, I feel like people are walking by, I will probably only be saving this for days where I have hormonal breakouts or I really need some decent coverage or things like that, because I have other foundations that look a lot more natural that I can wear, that, you know, do a better job. But I feel like this is going to be an amazing foundation for very specific days where I want this foundation. It's not like a grab any foundation I want foundation. I'm going to use you today. I'm going to use you today. Oh, I feel like using you today. It's going to be like, I need to use this today. And because it's so expensive, I don't think it's a good day-to-day foundation. Now, I have used foundations that cost way more money than this. You know it. I've talked about them before. But those foundations I can wear every day because they're comfortable, they give me health properties, and they're what I'm looking for in a day-to-day foundation. The price of this does not justify wearing this day-to-day because, again, it's not the best for day-to-day wear. But when it comes down to hormonal breakouts or on days that are really hot and I probably want to wear less, you know, foundation, or if I'm going to be someplace where a lot of people are going to see me, but not up close, like maybe if I go to a museum or an art show, this might be a great foundation because I can easily throw it into my bag and take it with me and easily apply it really quickly and effortlessly, and that it'll look really good when I pose for photos. It looks great in photos. So again, this isn't going to be an everyday foundation, and I'm only going to be repurchasing it because it's going to fit specific needs that I have, but I don't think that everyone needs this, and it's not like the end-all be-all foundation that a lot of people are saying it is. But then that's my experience. I would recommend going and swatching it and seeing if you can find the color. And if you are looking for a really good stick foundation, it's going to be comfortable to wear, easy to apply, and give you really great coverage, then I would definitely say try this out. But overall, I'm going to give this a B, and I'm going to say you don't need it. Don't spend your money on it. There are better foundations out there, but it isn't bad. Next up, I want to talk really briefly and quickly about the brush. I ended up buying the brush because I don't have a foundation brush like this. I have Artis brushes, I have Artis dupes brushes, I have beauty blenders, I have other sponges, I have a variety of different foundation tools. But I was looking for a little handheld brush that I could throw in my bag when I go to art shows or events that would work really well with foundation, with any foundation. And the thing is with the Artis brush, I don't like it for cream products. I like it for liquid foundation, and I like it for powder foundation. I don't like it for cream foundation. And I have a few really high-end cream foundations that I just haven't been using because I haven't had the right tools for them. Either because the tools I had for them before got lost when I was moving things around, or got damaged, or I just didn't like them, so I threw them away. And so, like, I have all these really good foundations that I haven't been using because I don't have the tool for it. So when I found out that this brush was specifically designed for this, and this is kind of like a creamy stick foundation, I figured this probably would be a good tool to have for those other creamy foundations. Now, again, this is not cheap. This is very expensive. It's the same price as this. So do keep that in mind. There are cheaper dupes for this, but I figured I would just pick this up, and if I didn't like it, I could return it. And I know this has been getting a lot of mixed reviews. Same thing with this. There's some really glowing reviews, there's some scathing reviews. I know Nikki Tutorials hates this. It made her, oh God knows, on her July favorites video. I've seen other people say you don't need it, use a sponge. So I went into buying this knowing I probably wouldn't like it. That being said, I really like it. Also understand when it comes to reviews of any products, take every review and understand those people are being truthful and honest. If someone hates something, they're probably right. They probably hate it. It probably didn't work for them. But that doesn't mean that's going to be the same across the board for everybody. So when I'm telling you I love this brush, don't just assume it's an amazing brush and go out and buy it. Do look at other reviews and see why they didn't like it, and listen to why I liked it before you make a decision, because it is expensive. You could probably use the other brushes. I know some people said that e.l.f. has a foundation brush that's really good. Brushes from IT Cosmetics. You don't need to buy this if you have a foundation brush already. I didn't, which is why I bought it. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, I love how densely this is packed, and this works beautifully for blending out this product. It puts it on effortlessly, and it puts on the right amount of coverage that I want. So it gives me a nice medium coverage. It blends everything out. Nothing looks streaky, nothing looks blotchy. Everything looks really beautifully flawless. As flawless as a foundation that looks like you're wearing foundation can look. So overall, I really enjoyed this. I did try using this with my other cream foundations, and it worked beautifully, which is why I'm really happy with this brush. It also works really well for setting powders if I need to set, like say I'm out and I have like an oily nose and I like blot my nose, but I still need to kind of set it with a little bit of powder. This works really great because I like to pat it on when I do that, and this works really great. This fits in my bag, my makeup bag, my cosmetic bag for travel really well. So overall, I'm gonna give this brush an A+. Like literally, I have no fault with this brush. Other people, like I said, will probably say you don't need this brush. Again, you don't need this brush if you already have a foundation brush. I didn't have a foundation brush like this that I could just travel with, so I'm really happy that I picked this up. It's a nice size. It feels nice in your hand. It's really easy to use. It's really easy to clean, and it does an amazing job with this product and my other cream foundations and my powder foundations. I haven't tried it with liquid foundation yet, but I don't think I'm going to, because really the Beauty Blender is just so perfect. There's no need to try and find a replacement for that. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the brush. So anyway, overall, again, I'm gonna go real quick. This is a B. I don't think you need to buy it unless you want this specific product. It is really nice and long lasting and very comfortable to wear, but again, it doesn't look natural. So if having a natural looking makeup or something that doesn't look too cakey is important, I wouldn't get this. But again, like for like hormonal breakouts for me, it's like a godsend. So I am happy with this. And this again is an A+ brush. I love it, but I don't think you need it if you already have a foundation brush. And if you already have a foundation brush and you use stick and cream foundations, you don't need this just because you get this. I mean, they do go nicely together, but it's just because it looks pretty together. I mean, yeah. So those are my thoughts and my reviews on these products. If you have any thoughts or reviews or any additional questions on the foundation or the foundation brush, feel free to let me know below. If you like content like this and you like me, feel free to subscribe. It's free, I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, and sometimes also on the weekends as well, so I will always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time.